Hey guys, Kurt here with NK Garage, and got a new video for you guys. And this is one that was not planned at all. It was kind of it just happened. So the other day, me and Nick were at the hardware store. That's where we buy some drainage pipe for jobs that we do for the landscaping business. And we were there buying some drainage pipe. And Nick was like, "Oh, why don't you go look at the Craftsman tools?" And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, maybe there's some old American stuff there." And I'm like, I don't know. Where we live here in New York, that stuff doesn't really sit around for a long time. That was a long time ago. But we looked and we were surprised. We found some goodies, and I got them in the nice little Ace Hardware bag right here. So let's take a look. The bag's a little bit mutilated. When I was walking out of the store, it actually ripped from all the, old
the weight of the haul.
But they got some new old stock USA Craftsman tools. And that was what I was after. And then Nick wanted to purchase the Milwaukee, the torque lock, version of the old fashioned vice grip. So he'll go over with that with you guys in a little bit, but I wanted to talk about what I found. So I was looking at the wrenches, and I knew, this stuck out immediately because the newer ones that they make now in India or wherever, Taiwan, wherever they're made, they don't look like those old American made ones. And I was able to pull out a 26 millimeter VA series and a 25 millimeter VA series wrench. I guess, nobody really goes to their hardware store to get 25 and 26 millimeters. So I was able to pick those up, and these are probably, 15 years old. But, figured, I wasn't going to pass that up. Yeah, so I was able to get these two American-made wrenches. And then I went after some sockets. And there was actually more than this there, but I wasn't going to buy everything. The wrenches, I didn't have a problem paying. I got the receipt here. $23.99 and $24.99. And for a brand new American-made Craftsman wrench of these sizes, that's not a bad price at all. And then I went for some sockets that I thought might have, potential resale value on our eBay store. So I got two 16 millimeter 12 points for 3/8 drive. I got a 4 millimeter 6 point, a 6 millimeter 6 point, shallow 1/4 inch drive sockets, and then I got two 4 millimeters and a 5 millimeter 6 point 1/4 inch drive deep sockets. Just because these were really cheap. All these 1/4 inch drive sockets were $4 a piece, and these were $8 a piece. But yeah, this on eBay is like a $15, $16 socket to get the old USA one brand new. So it's a good, double your money on all this stuff pretty much. These wrenches, this brings me back to when I used to go into Sears. Ooh, did I love Sears, and then they took it away from us.
I was going to say, when we went in the store, seeing these old tags compared to the new ones, they just look different, and you're able to, it brings back all those memories of going to Sears and having the literal pegboard full of those.
Yeah. Nick and I, we were 16, 17, 18 years old, and then our Sears shut down, but we would go to Sears, I don't know, once every couple weeks. And we would go in and we were putting our sets together socket by socket. So we'd go in there and we each get 3-4 sockets and a couple wrenches. Because we had some tools. I had some stuff that was extras, my dad's, stuff that I got in here and there. Same thing with Nick. And we were we had the socket trays, and we were trying to complete the, just get all the sizes. Didn't matter what brand, what series, whatever. Just back then we just wanted to be able to work on our cars. But yeah, we used to buy a lot of these single tag sockets.
Kurt would take a picture of the toolbox to see what was missing, and then we go to the store and see if they had it in stock, because sometimes they didn't have. On the downward decline of Sears, their stock was kind of running low.
Well, that, and they started already transferring over to the Chinese stuff, and now I think it's all made in Taiwan and India. But But at that point, they were going to the Chinese, and these gray tags went from a light gray to a dark gray, and that's how you could tell immediately. I mean, you could always look at the socket. And the nice thing about these sockets here, these are the G2D series, which is the where they put the laser etch, but they also have it engraved. Because if you get some of the newer ones that they made later on, but these are all G2D, they just did the laser etch, and then that wore off, and then you couldn't tell what your socket was at all. So, it's nice to have that quick read, but once that wears off, then you really do need the engraved. So these are a desirable series, and it's definitely cool to pick those up. So now I'm going to take over the camera. Nick's going to talk to you guys about his little test run here with the torque lock.
So I've been seeing these in not only like Home Depot, every time we go shopping, but all the different hardware stores, and they advertise this whole torque lock deal. So they even show a picture of shoving a screwdriver through this hole, and instead of, squeezing onto something with all your might like you normally would and trying to get as tight as possible, they say start loose, lock it in, and then jam it tight with the screwdriver. Now, I was curious about that, so if we pull out, this is a well-worn 10WR vice grip, so it's basically the same thing here. I was doing some comparisons. So basically, I was able to take this, I'll show you now. Say I wanted to hold on to something in the vise, right? Like this punch. So let's simulate a worn bolt. So if we go ahead, we're going to do it just like Milwaukee says. I'm going to put that on there relatively loose. I'll grab a screwdriver. I got a screwdriver. I'll put it in the torque lock. And I'll apply a decent bit of leverage to this. I'm putting a bit of force into there. Now if I go unlock that very easily. So let's try to squeeze that on by hand. It's not that hard. I did that one-handed. Now, something I noticed that when you do that, the screw down here, you're not going to be able to see on the GoPro, but there's already wear on the tip of that. You can see that shining in the light. It's already like worn out, not worn, but it's rolled an edge. And I think long-term trying to tighten it with the screwdriver is going to wear that out. For giggles, we did a test with a vice grip. If you lock it on there and take another vice grip and turn this, so less leverage than a screwdriver.
Yeah, I mean, you want to show them?
Sure. So we have a smaller vice grip here. If I lock that on loose, and I take the Milwaukee. Now I'm not going to put a whole lot of torque on here because you don't really need to. Just lightly screwing this down. Nothing crazy. It's not as long as the screwdriver. We're not even locking the vice grip on here. 2 fingers, 2 hands. I can't even barely get that apart. And if I was to try to lock that down, that took a lot of force. So the vice grip does a better torque lock than Milwaukee. Isn't that odd? Let's see, I can barely get that off of there. So the vice grip spins better, feels better in the hand. Just everything about the construction is better. In the store, these look really cool, but I'm not sure how they're going to hold up long term. And like I said, that burr is causing issues now. So, you generally adjust your vice grip. It's kind of binding now, doing exactly what they advertise it to be able to do. So maybe skip the purchase of one of these and find yourself an old American-made one. I think that's a better deal.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I definitely recommend. Now, the Milwaukee torque lock, it's not an expensive tool at all. This was $18. And for, its class of tool this day, I wouldn't say that's an outrageous price. It's about average. I don't know what the Irwin, Chinese-made vice grips are going for nowadays, but I do know that same class, the 10WR, you can get these on eBay for depending on condition, but one of this condition where it just has a little bit of surface rust, but the jaws are pretty clean and it works fine. And this is an old American-made tool. You can get this for $15-16. And if you're, willing to go out there and go, tag sailing, garage sales, flea market, or even do, bigger tool hauls like we do, you can probably get this. I've paid $1 for these at tag sales. Flea market pricing, you might pay more like $5 just because the seller might know more about what they're selling. They're definitely going to give it to you for a deal, but they're going to want, at least a $5 premium because they probably paid $1 for it. Or unless they bought a big tool haul lot and maybe they paid 50 cents, a unit. But it's just as good, if not better, than this new stuff they're doing. I think it'll last longer. It's just made with better parts. The only problem I've ever had with the vice grip would be the spring in there. Sometimes they rust from sitting, in toolboxes. Like this came out of an old toolbox. But you can buy replacement springs. You can get them small package for, probably $5 to $10, but you can actually get a bulk lot for the same price, and that's what I do, and I just hold on to them. So I think it's, I'd rather go old school, tried and true. So
I agree. And as someone that's a Milwaukee fan, we run mainly Milwaukee power tools.
Milwaukee makes great tools, but what they do is they make power tools. Hand tools aren't what they do.
They need to kind of stay in their lane. It's not really any better than a vice grip, even though they market it as some crazy new thing. It's
Well, they took, vice grip has an expired patent, so they're allowed to take the exact same design and then you lay them on top of each other, practically, carbon copy, and then they just put a different end on it. But all it is it's just old school American made, made in China or Taiwan or wherever, with cheaper metal and a fancy screw on the end.
No, it's professionally made in Taiwan.
Professionally made in Taiwan. I'm
professionally.
Sorry. It's a perfect tool now. It's professionally made. I forgot.
It's not made by anything other than professionals.
All right. Well, that concludes it for today, guys. So thank you again for watching. And as always, hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. And then also I'll remind you, and if you haven't been told before, Nick over here has got his YouTube channel of his own, NK Landscaping, and that's where where he shows off videos of what we do day to day out in the field, doing patio construction, lots of drainage projects, light excavation work, grading, trenching, stuff like that. So
yeah, go
check him out.
Yeah, if you like excavators, come see me.
Yeah, if you like mini excavators and compact construction equipment, mainly we do residential. If that's your kind of thing, go check him out. He's got new videos out every Wednesday morning.
That's right.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.